Hi everyone, I'm Scott.
And I'm Ashley.
From Costumers for Christ.
And you're watching Creative Costuming.
She really wanted to do that in this video. Today we're going to show you how to make a spandex leotard.
This project is great for females wanting to dress as Supergirl, Power Girl, or other characters along that sort. It's also great for dancers or gymnasts, so there's multi-uses to this tutorial.
Now all you're going to need for this project is some elastic, which you can get at Joann's or Hobby Lobby. I recommend using 3/8 inch elastic. That's going to go around the seat and thighs on the leotard. You're going to need a washable marker or a disappearing ink pen or chalk, just something that you can mark on the fabric with that you can then wash away or wipe off later. And you're going to need a bodysuit like this one. Now if you don't already have a bodysuit like this just lying around, then you need to go and watch our previous tutorial, how to make a spandex bodysuit. The only difference between this bodysuit and the one we show you how to make in that video is that we've amputated the legs. As you can see, this only has like a 4-inch inseam rather than a normal 32 inch inseam. And so what you should do is go watch that video, get to this point in the project, and then Ashley's actually going to put this on in order for us to show you the next step. Okay, for this first step, what you're going to do is obviously put the bodysuit on, and then we're going to take our disappearing ink pen or washable marker and we're going to trace around the seat and thighs, marking off where the hemline is going to go. So come down here, and you can do this on your own, but it's a lot easier if you've got somebody that you're comfortable with that's helping you out here. So you take your marker and you just trace the natural line of your body's curve, and you can put this however high or low you want for your costume. There you go. And then of course you just do the same exact thing on the other side. Once you've done that, you can take it off and we're ready to start sewing. Okay, once you've used your washable marker to draw the hemline on your leotard, the next step is obviously to cut along that line. But instead of cutting directly on the line, you want to cut about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch to the outside of that line. As you can see I've done here, you still see the line and there's about 1/4 inch seam allowance there. That's because that part's going to get folded in and you still want your hemline to be right where that line was. After you've cut both legs like that, the next thing you need to do is to then turn it inside out, and you want to mark some little notches along the edge of the seat and thighs here. Now what we're doing is we just take our ruler and a washable marker again, and I'm going to put a mark. I'm doing every 5 centimeters. If you're using inches, then you would probably go about every 2 inches. And just put one little mark every 5 centimeters, just like this. And then make sure your fabric is flat. Mark off another 5 centimeters and mark it just like that. And keep going all the way around the entire edge where we're going to be hemming. Do that to both sides of the fabric. Then you need to grab your elastic. And we're going to do the same thing to the elastic that we did with the edge of the fabric. However, instead of marking it every 5 centimeters, I'm marking it every 4.5 centimeters. So I put a little mark at 4.5, another one at 9, another at 13.5, 18, 22.5, and so on. That's so that the elastic is a little bit tighter than the fabric, and it will really grab hold of your butt and thighs and keep the fabric in place while you're wearing it. Once you've done that, you're ready to start sewing. And what you're going to do is obviously you need to have matching thread in both the bobbin and the thing up here, which I can't think of the name of for some reason. You're also going to need to switch your foot to an overlocking foot. This is, again, just like in our previous tutorial, we're using foot G if you have a brother sewing machine. If you're using a Singer, it should look something like this. And you just put that into place. And we're going to switch to an overlocking stretch stitch. Again, this is the same stitch that we used in our previous tutorial. On my sewing machine, it's stitch number 7 or number 8. Either one of those will work perfectly fine. I'm actually going to use number 8 because it uses a little bit less thread, and since we're going to stitch this twice, it doesn't need to be the number 7. So, now we take the fabric, line up the beginning of your elastic with one of the dots that you made, and then place that into the sewing machine. Remember that the fabric should be inside out, so you're sewing on the inside of the fabric, and slide that in. Make sure to lock it in place, and then you're just going to sew along the edge, stretching the elastic gently so that the dots that you made on the fabric and on the elastic line up as you go. As you approach your starting point, you want to go ahead and allow the elastic to overlap just a little bit. Then just lock the stitch in place. Get your needle out of the way, pull it out, snip your thread, snip off the extra elastic that you don't need there. And you should have something that looks like this, going all the way around the edge of the button thighs. Next, we're going to hem that in, so we'll have to switch the foot again, putting a regular foot on, and we're going to use, you can use a couple different stitches here. You can either use the straight stretch stitch, which is a number 3, or you can use a number 4, which is a wider zigzag stitch. That's what I'm going to use because it'll lock the edge of the elastic in place and give it just a little bit of a more finished look. So we take this, and now starting in the same place that we started before, fold it in so that your edge is hemmed in like this, and that should give you right along the edge of that original line that you drew. Place it into the sewing machine like so, and then with the center of your foot over the center, right over the line where your elastic is folded over, you're going to start zigzag stitching. One side will go off the edge of the elastic, the other will go into the elastic, and that way it's sealed down in place. Once you finish zigzag stitching around the hemline, you should have something that looks like this. This is the inside where you can see it's folded over. You can no longer see the elastic except for maybe a few little white spots showing through here. But when you flip it back the right side, all you'll be able to see is that zigzag stitch and a nice firm stretch, solid elastic line there on the edge. Now, the next thing you want to do is just do the exact same thing to the other side. Once you're done with that, all that's left is trying it on and seeing how it looks.
As you can see, I've tried on my leotard, and I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. I hope that you're happy with yours as well. If you have any questions or feedback, please leave it down below in the comment section. Also, be sure to subscribe. Scott has some awesome tutorials coming up, like how to make a realistic looking muscle suit for underneath all of your costumes, and also how to make a fabric cowl for characters such as Captain America and the Flash. As always, thanks for watching, God bless, and happy costuming.